I am so excited about the message today. Got another download. A big event. You're probably going, another big event? Oh no, this is so different. There's something going on. It is what is bringing us into the next few years that I told you get ready for. Clean your house out, right? What does that mean? Housekeeping? Clean everything out. Get your house in order. Get this in order. Get everything in order. But is something happening to you right now that we need to talk about? Because there is a huge transition happening. The gateway's opened, and as you guys read, we hit the tipping point. We're into it. What is happening? The big event is the deprogramming. Whether you're doing it intentional or not, this may be happening to you. It's happening to thousands of people. I'm going to explain what it is. Come with me. You're going to love this. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I'm looking a little scruffy because I just got out of CrossFit. Are you ready? I'm sorry. I was so excited about this subject today, I had to talk to you first because you're more important than my shower that's waiting for me. All right. We're going to talk about what's happening. Those of you who've read the book, this pertains to the tipping point, and the last chapter is called The Knowing. I explain what that is. I talk about where we are right now on the planet and what we really are up to this point. Now, we're going to go through even bigger changes. Oh, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. I don't know what's going to happen in 2024, 5, 6. These are going to be critical years. Probably 2025 is going to be a big one. And then 2026, something major. And this coming year, big transitions. You're going to see some big changes. Why are we going through the transition? What is it? I'm going to explain in detail. Before I do that, please subscribe. I want you to support my channel because I want to get the word out that we have so much to look forward to. You do. And you are so powerful. And there's nothing you cannot achieve. And you chose this role, so we got to play this out. But imagine what you could do, because are you going through this big event, the deprogramming? What does that mean? We have been programmed. Now, if I put you in a box and I set you out on this beach on the Gulf here in Florida, what would you think your world looked like? You would think that the world was a dark, confined place. And then maybe I cracked it a little bit. And you'd say, wait a minute, it's getting lighter in here. This changed, it shifted. And then I opened up the box and you saw that it was blue skies and it was gorgeous. And then I pulled the whole box open, you realize you're on a beach and there's water and dolphins, and this is what's happening right now. I talk about the veils. Why is this happening? Who's it happening to? What does deprogramming mean? We've been in density. We came here in unconsciousness deliberately. You cannot experience anger, frustration, separation, judgment. You can't experience any of that in your form, what we are, which is all one thing. We're just expressions of that one thing. You and I are expression in a human form. But I can't be dense unless I forget everything. I have to go into unconsciousness to know what it's like to be sad or to hate or to judge. You have to forget. So we are the unconscious creation of the one. We are, but we are still the one, all right? Read the book. Anyways, by the way, give me a nice review, and if you don't like it, then don't give me a review at all. What does this mean? So we have veils. So we went in unconsciousness and we wanted to know darkness. We wanted to know separation, most of all. So what's happening is we have been in the programming of ego density. And we have lived by that. And of course, as an individual, seeming individual, trying to break through that, even if you know it's not right, society and everything tells you you're wrong. People, you know, they make fun of people who say they've been abducted. Why? Well, it hasn't happened to me, and that's insane. And because God forbid we, you know that we have neighbors out there. And of course, they must be evil if they're doing that. Nothing is by chance or coincidence. Everybody has contracts in place. Now, even abductions, I'm going to actually, that's going to be a separate video. Even alien abductions, ET abductions, are not by random chance. Why? Because you came here thinking, I didn't choose my parents, I didn't choose abuse, you absolutely did, and people get abducted, they chose that also. They have an agreement in place in advance, but because we're in unconsciousness, we forgot all that stuff, and we call it evil and bad and all this other stuff. So what's happening now is we are pulling the veils off. Why? Because we're going into consciousness. And so the more we go into consciousness, the more we pull off the veils and realize that, wait, I'm not limited. You know, things aren't this way or shouldn't be this way, or if somebody's different. And it's just, you start to look at the world and you realize that just, I am all-powerful, creator, created, and the intelligence, and everything's alive. Everything is conscious. That ant. And if I can step over the ant, I should, because all life is precious and everything is life. It's just a form in a vibration. A rock is a slow vibration versus a cloud. All right? The frequency within that is what you and I get to choose through free will. So I can go in the penthouse or I can go in the basement. Again, forget the stupid law of attraction. It doesn't work. It's made up. It's before we knew what quantum physics was. You don't attract the penthouse down. It won't be the penthouse if you attract it. You have got to shift your mind into the penthouse. You got to go up that frequency, and that's what's happening. Here's the important part. We are shifting into a knowledge base that is on such a high level, and it's so open, and we're opening our minds to the possibilities that we really are that powerful. So now we're going into a whole new phase of deprogramming. So now we're realizing that we're doing things that are outside of the program that tells us that that's right, or we should do this, or we shouldn't do that. I spoke about Mars. I have decades of memories and dreams of that planet. I didn't know if it was Mars or not, and realized the meek shall inherit the earth meant the society that didn't kill anything, that wouldn't, even to defend themselves, are the meek. And they were not afraid. They didn't live in fear. Why? Because they know that we are endless, that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, and we're eternal. So they were not afraid to die. Some did leave the planet, all right? And those who didn't, all the meek and the ones who did leave shall inherit the earth. Not humans. We're already here. We're not going to inherit something. We're already here on the earth. We're going to transition into the new earth. It's just a new way of life. It's a higher frequency, which creates a different dimension. We live in a different dimension, which means we'll have our intuition. Kinetic energy is going to be more, we're going to be aware of that and our powers using it. We're going to be aware of spirits and other energy fields. And it's not going to be scary stuff anymore, because we're not going to live in that fear-based limitations. The deprogramming is happening right now. You're going to find yourself doing things different. I'm going to give you an example. Do you remember I talked about my friend who was very uncomfortable when I stopped to help a homeless person, and I went and got him a roast beef sandwich from the deli down the street for 20 bucks. He deserved it. Anyways, I went and got him his sandwich, and my friend was very uncomfortable with that. He was programmed. So he stood almost a block, like a half a block away. He wouldn't even talk to the guy. And he was very uncomfortable with the whole situation. And so the people in the deli said, oh, Frank or Bob or whatever his name was, yeah, he's really a good guy. He actually he never asks anybody for anything. I'm surprised he asked you, and I was honored that he asked me. I was willing to give. And I called him a gentleman. And so the deprogramming is the homeless person isn't some low life. He's an equal, beautiful being, and he was an opportunity for me to give and for me to treat him the way he should be treated. Now, my friend was programmed. He was very uncomfortable with the situation. But here's what he said this weekend when we were out. He mentioned the gentleman. He said, yeah, he said, this is where we were walking when you went and got the sandwich for that guy. They said he was a really good guy in the deli. And I said, yeah, they did. They said he was a good person. And I saw this shift in him, the deprogramming, that maybe that wasn't a scary person after all. And maybe after he saw what I did, that is a really good response, and that treating that man like another valuable human being was a good thing for not just him, but me. And so I saw this deprogramming going with him, and he mentioned a few things, and I thought, he's coming outside of the programming where, oh, you don't give homeless people money, they'll just buy drugs or booze. So we're coming out of the judgment and saying, I'm going to just be the positive change. And I don't care what anybody else says or what the judgment is or the confined, thoughts and ideas that keep us here separated fighting. We're going to stop those discussions now. And I'm seeing person after person after person doing what they're supposed to do. Now, I just talked to a lady. I'm actually going to interview her, and she's going to be on a podcast. She lost 2 children. One, I think he was 16, in a car crash, gorgeous. And her daughter to drugs, who was 25, beautiful kids. Who has to deal with that? And so she just decided, because you guys know I train people in business, she decided, I coached her, that she had to do really grief counseling. She was going to do what I do, only she's going to talk to people who have had great loss. I said, the programming is, this is going to be uncomfortable, or I should be doing this or that. And I said, now you found your purpose, and that's part of her tagline too. She's going to go loss to purpose. And so we'll talk more about that. People are deprogramming and realizing it doesn't matter what society or anybody else has told me, or even what I've told myself. I'm going to start doing things differently. I'm going to live differently. I'm going to express myself differently. I told you about Mars. I would have never done that even just a few years ago. It's too weird, right? People aren't ready for it. You're ready for it. Are you feeling the deprogramming? Are you feeling yourself going into spaces where you realize, I don't have to behave that way anymore? That is just a low-density constraint or limitation. This is a huge event happening. I'm seeing it with so many of my friends. We're changing our lives, how we live, what we're doing. We're coming together in different ways. We're creating solutions. We're cleaning up our environment. It doesn't matter if it's uncomfortable because it's feeling so good. We're deprogramming that low density of using plastic and all that other stuff. You guys, you might see in the products, I'm going to put the products of Blue Land. I'm an affiliate for them, and they use no plastic. Everything comes in paper or a metal container that you use over and over again, and it's all non-toxic, it's clean. You've got to clean this environment up, that skin, what you put in your body, all of it. We're deprogramming, and this is taking us to a higher level shift. Now here's what's going to happen. Because we're going into this higher frequency and we're deprogramming and letting go all the rules, the judgments, the BS, the arguing, the separation, this is how things are, talk to the hand, shut your pie hole, because I don't have any limits. And I'm allowed to believe what I want to. And that's the beauty of the diversity of being a human being, right? We get to choose different things. We're exploring, we're information gatherers. As we go into this higher frequency, we are now living a completely different life. What's going to happen is knowledge is going to be available to us. You are going to receive information, and it's possible that our friends from other planets might assist us if we deserve it at that point, and we get to a frequency where we're not a threat to the multiverse. We have to keep going on this pathway. The deprogramming is going to happen naturally for you. because as others accelerate their frequency, it will affect you. If you're feeling the opposite right now, I want to ask you why. Are you tuning into negativity? Are you disbelieving? You have no faith? You have doubt? You guys, I have a brand new, again, another master class in here. I just did it yesterday. I finished it. And it is the mindset mastery, transformational mindset. I'm going to take you into this. How do we go there? We got to keep going up and up and up. If you're not in my email list, come on over, because that you're going to get that. You'll receive 2 master classes free. And then if you want to come work with me, I would love that. These are free videos for internet training. Start building businesses you're proud of. Start doing things like my friend, who I'm going to interview on a podcast. I said, you got an internet business. I said, got to ditch the Amazon store and start doing this. So she's going to coach people on grief. I said, this is your purpose, and you got to do it, and we're going to start doing this. We're going to stop the just make money. How can I make money? We're going to do things purposeful and meaningful, and we're going to have compassion and love and respect for our planet. Everything we do is going to respect everything that's life. Everything is alive. This space is intelligence. There's no separation between you and I. We're just expressing ourselves. Just like a finger and an ear and a nose is still part of the body, even though it looks so very different and has a completely different function. It's still part of the body. Are you experiencing this? Do you find yourself going into a deprogramming? You're just letting go of all the crap, right? It's dense. We don't have to believe it anymore. We have to stop taking sides if we want to go into unity and live in that world. If you don't, you won't. You're going to live in the old ego-driven world, and it's going to die off. It's dissolving. It's dissolving. You can hang on to those material goods, but you can't take them with you, and you will go into abundance, health, happiness, joy, and the things that happen in your life that seem horrible will be manageable, because you know that they have divine purpose and that you came here to experience that, because that's the test. The homeless guy that asked for food was the test. The guy at the gas station who asked me for money, I walked him into the gas station and bought him a bunch of food. That was the test. I walked in that store with him because he deserves to walk in that store. He didn't have to stand outside and have me buy it. He walked in there, and I called him a gentleman. I said, I'm buying this gentleman whatever he wants. This gentleman. Because everyone's equal. So are you. Don't you ever question that. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. You're amazing. Quit questioning that. The one doesn't make mistakes. If you still have the residual of the ego and the limitations and the programming that somebody told you that you weren't this or that, or you don't physically think that you are, you know, some Adonis or princess or whatever, it's only a temporary thing. And how you deal with it is going to determine everything in your life, because you are the essence of the Creator. We are molded after the Creator, not a man. It's light. You are light. The source is light. That's what we are. This wasn't what we were molded after. The eternal energy field is. Are you ready to shine? Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.